let's pivot to the Lions real quick because I mentioned this earlier. What are they going to do now with Aaron Glenn gone, Ben Johnson gone, other assistants gone? Here's Brad Holmes, the GM, on losing both coordinators, and if he thinks the Super Bowl window is still open for the Lions.
Obviously, we were prepared to lose those guys. Those guys are great coaches, and, I mean, just call it what it is. We're lucky to have both of them this year. I know Dan has been preparing for it, and I have the full faith and trust in Dan to make sure that, you know, we're going to have the right people in place in those spots. But he's been able to – he's had to encounter that before, not at the coordinator level, but other position coaches, and it's always worked out. So
Chris and I were talking about this yesterday. They've had the benefit of a full year with both of these guys to plan for what's next. They were able to go through all of 2024 knowing this is the last ride. Hopefully it takes us all the way to a Super Bowl championship, and then we'll move on. So they've been scouting the candidates to take over. They know who they want. They've got to do the proper searches and see who's available and can they get them. But this isn't something that Dan Campbell rolled out of bed and said, oh, crap, now I got to go find a new offensive coordinator, and then 2 days later, oh, crap, now I got to go find a new defensive coordinator. They've known this is coming.
Yeah, and Brad Holmes said it exactly right. He said they were fortunate to have them both this year. That means he knew that they were going to be out, most likely, if the team did what it was supposed to do. And I know they thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl and win it, but it was a very good team. You know, you got a good team like that, you're going to lose some people on your staff. So they've had a year at least to prepare for it. And if you go back and listen to Dan Campbell, I know a lot of people focus on the kneecaps, his opening press conference, but that first press conference, if you listen to the whole thing, it was Dan Campbell just casting visions. It was pretty deep what he was able to do, because if you go back now with what you've seen, if you go back to the moment, he laid the whole thing out perfectly, how he was going to develop coaches, the kind of team they were going to be, how he was going to partner with Brad Holmes. All of those things have come to pass. So when you have a program like that, it's not just, as great as Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are, it's not just two coordinators. You should have like a pipeline. You should have a development system and have two people ready at all times. You know, I saw this with the Patriots over the years, and they won the Super Bowl in 2004. So they had Romeo Crennel left to the Browns, Charlie Weiss left to Notre Dame. They come in, they replace them with Josh McDaniels and Eric Mangini. So, you know, both of those guys were successful. Limited time for Mangini, but McDaniels as a coordinator was great. So they had a plan. They were ready for it. And I think Detroit is in the same situation.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.